Gang, give it a second to see if we get anyone in here. It's my first time streaming on this channel that I recall. So let me know how the audio is. Squatch, give me a readout on the audio. Hey, Reptile, I saw you pop in here. Hear me fine? Good. Well, gang, anyway, I was sitting around talking to Squatchy tonight for about... How long were we on the phone, Squatch? We FaceTimed for about an hour, I think. See if any more people come in here. 2 watching now, started streaming less than 1 minute ago. This is not through StreamYard. I'm going to see if see who all shows up before I dig into it. 2 hours, 2 hours, dude. Crazy. Man, Squatch, for that, I'm going to let you touch my GoPro Hero 8. Throw this thing in the... it's a good camera. It's for what it does, it's a good camera. I just don't like the dang subscription services. I really don't. I just kind of like them. I don't need you to edit my stuff for me. I mean, the cloud backup is a nice aspect to GoPro, but, you know, neither here nor there. The Hero 7, it may be the best GoPro. I think for a long time the Hero 7 had a lot of problems, but then they fixed it right in time to release like the 8, and then shortly after the 8, I saw the price drop on the 8, and that's when I buy things. Me personally, I buy things when they're on sale or on the decline. I don't buy any technology when it first comes out. I'll give you an example. Like I got the Sony AX53, not with the Rode microphone, that was extra, but just the camera. I bought this when I won't say it was new, but it hadn't been out real long. That much I know. It's probably 4 to 6 months, and it was like, I want to say $899, which is a lot to spend on a camcorder, especially when you're going to drop off a cliff. And then like today, it's like, I want to say I was in Best Buy, not today, this last week, and I want to say the prices on those things had dropped to like $5.99 or $6.99, somewhere around there. Either way, it's a few $100 difference. Hey, Mr. J, glad you joined us. I'm going to do this. Squatch, you are now an administrator. Watch for any spam bots and nuke them before I can, if you see them. But anyway, usually, like technology, like a new car, is, you know, most expensive when you roll it right off the lot. Hey, it's good to see you too, Mr. J. Normally, I go live from the Angry Aatrox channel. I decided to go live over here and at least do a test run and see, like, if people bother watching or whatnot. This platform is monetized, so basically Squatchy put me up to this. Go subscribe, Adventures with Squatchy, and And definitely, if this tanks, give him all kinds of grief about it. Because, I mean, we're still going to, like, start a GoFundMe, like, so we can, like, get Squatchy to shave his beard, I think. I think that's going to be what we're going to do. Like, if we're not finding snakes a week from now, we're gonna start the GoFundMe, and we're gonna have Squatchy shave live on YouTube. What do you think about that, Squatch? Just joking with you, Squatch. Keep the beard. My gosh, I would not know what to do if I saw you and you didn't have the beard. No, I wanted to kick around a few things just as part of a test live. Give me grief or give me bacon, right on. And say a little bit about what this channel's about. Basically, it started out as a secondary B channel. And Squatch, write down that idea. Competition, loser shaves beard. That's an idea. And that's me. I'm like, it's if I shave, man, people think I'm in high school. I'm like, well over 49. I'll say that. I'm over 49 years of age. But anyway, and people will literally think I'm in high school if I shave, and so that's why people like, doesn't the gray bother you? I'm like, no. It makes people think that you are the age you are, because like I'm shorter. Like sometimes you deal with some things that taller people don't deal with, and it's kind of like a little bit of a pain. But I try not to let it ruin my day. But anyway, we did want to. Me and Squatchy are like talking on the phone like an hour ago, and I had all kinds of things happen tonight. It's my wife's birthday, and we got together with the family and stuff, and we haven't been able to do that. Like we didn't do Christmas together. We didn't do, we like haven't gotten together as a family in a couple of months, because either someone had a cold or cough or something, or we were just being careful. And so tonight was kind of fun. I'll say that, to kind of do the old kind of things that we used to do, and be doing them again. It's definitely a good thing. But yeah, but back to you, Reptile. The Hero 7, a lot of people do regard it as the best GoPro. I would defer that question to Pemberton Boys, because he heavily uses GoPro in all his videos, and he knows a lot about the GoPro. I mean, he knows a lot. He's a technical, smart guy anyway. I mean, believe me, Pemberton Boys, the guy knows his technology. The thing that I don't like about it is I've got a GoPro 3 around here. It was I want to say it was like, it wasn't the third one. I want to say it was like the second or something, if I remember correctly. And what I liked about it was with the GoPro Hero 8, there's a few tricks that you can use, but like you can't, or at least I can't, plug this into my iMac and just download the video straight from the GoPro to the iMac. I have to port it over to the app that's on iPhone, and then AirDrop it from my iPhone to my iMac. Now there's a trick where you can like take like a drone or another device that uses the same size card, port it in there and use it as a bridge, but then you're still removing the card. And to me, I just don't like the way they're going with the app and all the, subscribe and get unlimited cloud storage and get this and get that. And it's like, I generally use a GoPro for very little. So I don't see a lot of reason to sit there and incur another monthly cost. But the old GoPros, you could just plug them right into your computer and just drag and drop the MP4 files. And it was a good thing. While it lasted, all good things come to an end, and usually in the hands of tech companies. I say that as I'm sitting here. Using technical devices. I'm going to refresh because I want to see. I'm showing that 2 people are watching right now. Mr. J, Squatchy. I know Squatchy and Reptile. I think you're still with us. Mr. J, are you still with us? Let me know in chat if you can. I would appreciate it. If you can't, no big deal. But I would appreciate you letting me know, because it says 3 are watching now. Blaker's Pythons, glad you're here jumping in. Once again, Blaker, just to get you up to speed real quick, normally I do my lives from my Angry Aatrox channel, and I decided to do one from over here tonight to see how, like, you know, a week from now, like how the numbers are, how they compare to my lives over there. Initially, I kind of leaned against doing lives on this channel because this channel was a B channel. It started out as like just a place to secondarily catalog footage of stuff that I filmed at Rattlesnake Roundups, which is definitely a hot button issue. Something I'm not real crazy about. I think the Western Diamondback can be hunted to some degree, and you're not seeing population collapses. Try refreshing, Squatchy, because I'm still seeing 3, but and maybe someone dropped off. Maybe we picked someone up. But basically, I spent a lot of time, and still spending time today, documenting things that happen at Rattlesnake Roundups. And it probably will be uploaded to this channel as well as like a secondary channel, because it's good to have the stuff on YouTube to where if you get in a discussion about the topic and people say, oh, well, you've never been to one. No, actually, I've been to several. Here's a video from this one, 2018. Here's a video from this one, 2011. Here's a video from this one, 2015. Here's a video from this one, 2003. I've got some like archived stuff from other people, you know, on this channel. I've got stuff my friend Dave shot at the New Mexico Rattlesnake Roundup when there was one in New Mexico. And that's been closed for, well, I want to say well over 10 years. I want to say that closed back before 2010. And he had video on there from 2003 that he graciously let me upload. His name's Dave. He's a good guy, and he got a lot of video of these things back in the day before I was kind of out and around and going to these things. But anyway, I kind of wanted to have this stuff like documented from a historical perspective as well. It's not I'm for it or against it, but just, hey, I went there and I stuck my camera in the face of this, and this is what I saw. And once again, on all my roundup videos, because of the hate and vitriol that comes with that kind of topic, I've shut down comments on the majority of those videos, just because people just constantly get ugly or profane or whatever. And I understand the feelings behind it. I mean, I'm a snake lover myself. Of course, you know, I also, you know, I don't really sweat much like some of the free handling and stuff that they do, because I mean, everybody else is doing it anyway. So I mean, I'm not. Never be quick enough to free handle a rattlesnake, nor would I try, just because in this day and age, it's an unnecessary risk. It's like riding a motorcycle without a helmet to me. Snake hooks, snake tongs, things like these are around. They're affordable. Use them. They keep people from getting bit. Yeah, Reptile, you bring up a good point, and that fed into our conversation earlier. It was like the number of video hours, watch minutes, peak concurrence, people watching, all this stuff. After you end the live, you immediately get a pop-up, or at least I do. I think because I'm going through YouTube Native, not going through StreamYard. but like I get this kind of pop-up that tells me what is being viewed. And it's like, but then it's like a few days later, I go back and look through the analytics in YouTube Studio, and it's not, um, and it's not the same thing. If anything, it's generally much less. Like I can do, like I was talking to Squatchy about doing like an hour-long live with 10 people watching, or at least that's what it says on the screen. And then there were like, the pop-up says 26 people watched. And you're sitting there going, you know what, it didn't reflect on the screen, but then again, it reflects in the afterwatch pop-up, so maybe people are watching, and it's not picking up because they're not logged in, they're not watching on the right kind of platform or the right kind of device. You never know. There are many mysteries to YouTube, and I just don't know that we're ever going to get them. I am keeping both this channel and the Angry Aatrox open for now. For those of you that don't know, I do have like a drone channel, which I don't feel like promoting at this time because the footage isn't good. Droning's something I do here and there. Don't spend a lot of time working on it. I spend a lot of time getting quality video of snakes in their native environments. And so, that's something I have definitely put a lot of work in. By the time I get to that level of drone proficiency, I'll probably be promoting that channel more. I also have a dog channel for my Boston Terrier. I just want a place to stash memories of him without like having to, buy another hard drive to do it. And, but anyway, I started, years and years ago, working with a group, and as being a fact-finding outlet because I was close to so many rattlesnake roundups. And so like a lot of that footage is here. And if I shoot any this coming year, which I plan to, didn't mean to, Squatch. Just calm down. I didn't mean to, but I plan to be in Waynoka, Mangum, possibly Apache, a few other places, and get some video from there this year. And don't know how that's going to work out. I'm not really sure. Either way, not really that concerned. But, it'll probably be uploaded here and archived at a few other places. I've preached it since the start. If you get a good video, or you get video that at least is worth hanging on to, I'd upload it to at least YouTube channels. You can always use a dummy channel and keep it unlisted. And either use cloud storage or use off-site, physical storage, like I was gonna say like a thumb drive, but I do have a thumb drive here. Thumb drive courtesy of Matthew Radford. Some of the most amazing snake pictures I've ever seen are on this thumb drive. He's a birder and a photographer, but he's recently gotten into reptiles. And me and him were out some last year. He's at the end of my most recent timber rattlesnake video that I believe I've popped on here, and I know I've uploaded it over at Angry Aatrox. I may have not released it there yet. But anyway, what happened is this channel took off and started growing, and some of my more controversial videos were getting just a lot of views. And so I kind of just rode the wave and saw where it would end up. Then Derek's Reptiles, I'm going to tag him, see if he'll get his butt over here. He may not. And the live tag may not work in chat unless they're in the chat, so. But he said, man, dude, you've got a monetized platform. Keep uploading to it. And so I was just going over with Squatchy for like a solid 2 hours of just YouTube frustration, why this works this way, why this doesn't work that way, and things like that. And we also talked about plans for the upcoming, herp season and what he's hearing down there and what we're seeing over here. I do know that rattlesnakes are poking their heads out of dens. I've had a couple of different sightings in the central and western parts of the states, or the state of Oklahoma, let me clarify. But I also kind of think it's like a little too warm or a little too cool yet for them to disperse from their dens. I'm saying that we might have snow this Friday. That's like a possibility. We've got a cold front moving in tonight. And I'm just like saying to myself, please, dear God, do not let us get any more snow. A day or two of cool, that's fine. Getting about ready to move my turtles back outside for the spring and the summer. That's always a rite of passage, so to speak. But anyway, it's just, so I started uploading newer videos, other videos and stuff to this channel, and kind of switched this channel to my A channel and left my Angry Aatrox as my B channel. Now, a lot of shorts and things that I upload over there, very few of those did I actually archive and save, so I can't upload them over here. Which is the good thing about like a shorts video is, it's 15 seconds long or 30 seconds long. I don't think it can go over a minute. I don't think it can go over 15 seconds anymore, because I think YouTube clamped down on that. I could be wrong. But at the same time, if ever you had like someone wanting to use that video, or if you needed to recover a raw file of that video, or not a raw file, but you could technically get YouTube Premium, where you watch without ads, and then you can download the video. So to speak. And yeah, I agree. I won't say we've had a lot of snow for Oklahoma. We kind of got about what we normally get, it seems. With the year before last, once again, that was insane and ridiculous. We literally got like a foot of snow, which Oklahoma never sees. Generally, most of eastern Oklahoma sees 2 to 6 inches of snow, with 6 inches being catastrophic. We had like a solid foot at least, I think, last year in 2021. I think, yeah, February 2021. And I'm just so ready for warm weather. I'm ready to have critters on the move again. I miss them all winter long. The bugs, the snakes, the frogs and toads, the amphibians. And you can do that, e-reptile. Sometimes, what I've done is, if I have a short that's longer than 15 seconds, I don't upload it as a short. I upload it as a video, but then I hashtag it shorts. And a lot of times it still picks up that algorithm and gets a ton of views. You want to make sure you include the hashtag shorts in there if you're going to do that, from what I've seen. From all the YouTubers that know far more than I do, it seems like that's the plan. But anyway, I have numerous plans. Hang on. Excuse me. If the weather stays warm, probably this time next week, I'm going to be out in western Oklahoma checking my rattlesnake spots, seeing if I can find some stuff when it's kind of like emerging from the den sites and things like that, and before things get real far from the den, because that's kind of, I don't like to get too close to den sites. Like, I don't want to disturb a den site, especially like if it's a timber rattlesnake den site. They seem to be like incredibly sensitive to den site disturbances. But you can go over to like, and once again, if someone wants to argue with me on this, so be it. But I've gone to rattlesnake dens where people who I know actually hunt them go there to hunt them, and they've hunted, in Oklahoma, they've hunted some of the same dens for 20 years, and it doesn't seem to bother them. The snakes keep coming back to the dens, or they keep using the dens. I don't know why the timbers. Well, I'm sure the timber's just a more sensitive species. I kind of look at like that as, they're used to being, timbers are used to relying more on their camouflage than things like the western diamondbacks and the prairies. So I think that you're kind of looking at something like that with, with the westerns versus the eastern species. But yeah, you definitely don't want to inside. Yeah, that's true. And you want to, Squatchy, this is another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I see a lot of people doing this, and I don't know like what someone with a big field herping channel like Noah would have to say. But like I'm sure at the bottom of his game, he doesn't flip rocks unless he can put them back in the exact spot they come from. My guess is he doesn't flip rocks unless he knows he can move the rock, either with the help of someone or with someone else. And I'm also sure he's probably sensitive to moisture seals. And once you get further into summer, you have to think about, if you flip a rock, are you going to break a moisture seal? And that there's this whole biome underneath this rock that you're going to flip. And if you're in an area that doesn't get a lot of rain, animals that may rely on the moisture that gets trapped under that rock, we're talking like micro bugs and things, like really small insects, invertebrates, earthworms, things like that. They definitely rely on, if there not being a lot of water there, the moisture that was underneath that rock. So, I know people that carry spray bottles with them, that when they flip rocks, like in Arizona or New Mexico, when they put it back, they spray water under there to replace or add back to the moisture seal. And that's maybe being a little hyper responsible on your environmental things. But at the same time, it's like, that's my whole point, as far as like ethical herping goes. Believe me, there's a lot of unethical things I could do and know how to do. And, but you just don't want to do things for views, or you don't want to do things that, cause damage to a habitat. And one if you followed me religiously, you've probably heard this story before. But one guy who is a complete moron, his name's Mark. I'm sorry, I think he's a moron. I'm not going to say his last name. And it's not my Mark buddy that I go herping with either. It's a different Mark. He pinned a sensitive species spot on INAT, and the whole area got obliterated. We often talk about Becky, the milk snake. She was, I think she was killed by someone flipping a rock, and I think they lost control of the rock because this area got hit with like a lot of dead tantillas, which are these real small flat-headed snakes. My most recent video, herping with the wolf, I show you one of those snakes, and they're as small as earthworms. I mean, we have some pretty good size night crawlers around here. And literally, I've seen these guys out and about before under rocks, and I've thought they were an earthworm. And a lot of those guys got like hammered by rocks getting dropped on them and stuff. And man, stop. Take your time, flip the rock, make sure nothing's under it, and then put it back, and put it back safely. Put it back gently. If there's something under it, I mean, the responsibility is on you as the herper to make sure it's out of harm's way before you put the rock back. And once again, I'm not going to worry about, like a roly-poly or two getting smashed. But when like salamanders or ringneck snakes or flathead snakes get smashed, it doesn't look good. And that last video that Noah did, he called it out. I'm kind of glad he did because, like, literally, a ton of people went to this spot because the moron pinned it on INAT. And I don't know if you can tell, I really don't like this guy. I kind of used to like him, and then I found out some stuff on him, and I just, I kind of just, yeah, whatever. And I think he had I think he had good intentions. I think he thought this is a non-endangered species, and there's no reason to not pin it here. I would have felt the same about like a common garter snake or a western rat snake or plain-bellied water snake. You can just look at that area and know that your common species are going to be there and be there in abundance. There's a lot of things, like a lot of venomous species, I will never pin to INAT because then either people can go there to collect them or people can go there to kill them. And if you think there aren't some people looking at INAT trying to get places to go kill snakes, you're pretty delirious. Now, generally, most of the times, people who hate snakes will just kill the ones that they find around their house. There are a few crazy people out there that will just go out and look for snakes and just, kill as many as they can find, venomous or not. They literally will not care about anything. They just hate snakes. They want to go kill them. And Ereptile, my philosophy towards INAT and Herp Mapper and anything like that, anything that lists the locations, is either obscure the location, which you can do in INAT if it's a sensitive species, or just don't pin it. Make yourself a note, or pin it on INAT, but keep it a private listing. I think there's a way you can do that. If there's not, don't hold me to that. Maybe it's one of the other ones I'm thinking about. But what I've always found is generally when you enter like an area like a game refuge or something where you have acres and acres of land that is blocked off and safe from development, and if the game warden catches you there, they will ask to see your hunting license. I've known people who have been ticketed for herping without a hunting license. Definitely will happen to you in Oklahoma, so I'd encourage you to support the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation and get your dang hunting license. And once again, I think you need a fishing license for aquatic species. So go get both of them if you're in Oklahoma. Check with your state laws. Check with experienced herpers in your state and find out what they do or what they recommend you have. Because some places, man, you can't even like flip a rock or use a snake hook or have one in your possession without being a collector. And like, I know a lot of people who field herp who never collect anything, but yet they do have snake hooks handy. And and so, it's like they can get ticketed just as easily as anyone. Ereptile, that's kind of what I've found to be my philosophy for a lot of it. Like, if Smet Logic says they're going to come out and herp Oklahoma, I'm going to say, look, I know where you can find this species, and here's the coordinates, or here's the spot, or at least, here's the road. But me and Smet Logic have a relationship. I know they're not going to pin a sensitive species out there on INAT. Hey, Ian, good to see you. Ian, the Discord invite, I could not find it, so I don't know which messenger you sent it to, but I was trying to work with it, or find the Discord, and now I can't find where you even sent the link. So, man, if you could shoot that to me on Instagram again, I'd appreciate it. If you don't want to or something, that's fine too. But just know that I was trying to get that to work. I'm relatively new to Discord. I've had Discord about 6 months. But herp laws varying from state to state makes me bonkers. I agree, Ian. What I found to be the winning combination is at minimum try to find out from some herpers what is needed for the state you're going to. And usually at minimum it's a hunting license, which is usually $20 to $30, $40. You can get them at Walmart, a lot of states. A lot of times a hunting license, from what I've seen, overcomes a lot of issues. I'll say issues. Now, there's a thing in Oklahoma we can get that's called a conservation passport. And I think this is kind of funny because I don't know why, because it's the same price as a hunting license. It gives you access to the same areas a hunting license gives you. But it's pretty much a hunting license, but it's like a hunting license for people who don't want to have a hunting license. So I get the idea that it's some kind of like people who don't want to have a hunting license but still want to access that land. Now, the caveat to that is I believe if you have the conservation passport, you cannot get on that land during an active hunting season, which, here in Oklahoma, we have spring turkey, we have fall turkey, then we have fall deer. And those can be some prime times for locating herps. So while you also don't want to interfere with other people's hunting because they're running around in the woods with guns, you also want to make sure you have the one that will allow you on that property at any time. And once again, I know I've known people to go herping with like a 30-30 rifle strapped on their back and a hunting license, but they're hitting public land during like deer season because that can give some prime salamander action. And even if the year's warm enough, snakes can be hanging out at den sites during those times. So the herp laws are kind of different. The herp laws are kind of a little out there for state to state. A friend of mine in Pennsylvania, I've told this story before, sorry if you're going to hear it again, but I'll make it quick. He was looking for bugs, and I want to say he's looking for some kind of centipede or something, and he was flipping a rock. He did not know he was close to a copperhead den. He's a bug guy, not a reptile guy, but he got like a $250 ticket because he was like disturbing habitat too close to a copperhead den in Pennsylvania. And once again, I don't know if he had anything with him to collect insects or if they got him on collection. I know what the ticket referenced habitat disturbance / destruction. And once again, like I said, flipping a rock, that can be destroying a habitat, depending on how people look at it. So, and then you reptile, if you're in places that are remote, a lot of times you may not even have to worry about it. But some of like the West Texas hotspots, those things get patrolled by game wardens. They know a lot of herpers flock to those areas for specific species. And so they will keep, I've even heard of them setting out decoy, gray-banded king snakes, which I think is kind of low, but it's also a way to find out if someone's going to stop on the road because you can't legally hunt from the road in Texas. I don't think you can in Oklahoma either. I just think it's like a lot less enforced here. Because I know I find a lot of stuff road cruising in Oklahoma. And rolling down a dirt road, like, doesn't really matter if you stop on it at 2 a.m. I can understand, like, if you're stopping on a highway where you know, turtles are crossing or snakes are crossing, and the thought that you might be a risk to oncoming traffic, you know, I could see where a game warden or a police officer might have something to say about that. And I've even heard in some states like North Carolina, if I get this wrong, forgive me. I know it's a state back east. Someone was actually killed moving a turtle across the road. So they made it illegal to help turtles across the road. Um, I think that's kind of a little extreme, a little silly, bordering on government overreach. But at the same time, you know, it seems like it's all fun and games until someone dies doing it. A lot of towns here in Oklahoma, they won't put in a stoplight until, like, at an intersection, but like will have a yield sign and two stop signs, and the other side of it is like just is through traffic. They won't they won't generally like put a stoplight in or anything until someone gets killed there. It just seems to be like the litmus test. Like, okay, somebody died here, so we've got to do something. But video creation. Hey, that's good stuff, Ian. Like I said, let me know if that invitation still extends. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I understand. Seems like I had something to show you. I've got a screenshot somewhere of something I need to show you. I've dealt with 50,000 screenshots this week, so I'll go back through after this and look for it. But anyway, you know, we're just rolling a test live over here. I bet you Mr. J has dropped off. I'm showing 4 people watching. Squatch, do you know how many people are watching or what it says on your end? And Squatch, like we were talking about earlier, I bet you more people are getting notifications from Angry Aatrox. I don't really understand that with this platform being the one I have monetized, but alas, you know, is what it is. It says 4 on mine. Okay, E-Reptile. Thank you, E-Reptile. E-Reptile, are you seeing any snakes down in New Mexico? I was telling Squatch on the phone earlier that Snakes on the Plains guy, Nathan, he saw quite a few western diamondbacks at den sites today. I'm not going to say where. I will say western Oklahoma, but that's about all I'll say. And he saw quite a few today. Of course, it got pretty warm here. It got real sunny and I think like low 80s. And so, you know, things are popping, even though we've got like a low of 21 degrees coming 2 or 3 days from now. I think snakes are going to be moving around here pretty quick. Still a little early for a lot to be on the move. But I know garter snakes have been seen. Water snakes have been seen. Decay's brown snakes have been seen or flipped. I do know in central Oklahoma, it was a very credible sighting. It was a friend of mine. His sister in central Oklahoma saw a couple of timber rattlesnakes out 2 days ago. Yeah, that's the same as us, E-Reptile. We have been in the 70s and 80s, but we're going to be back like in the high of 40s, low of 20s, you know, in a couple of days if things pan out right. Now, I'm hoping that those lows are actually a little higher because I'm just ready for spring, kids. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready to herp. I'm ready to fly my drones. I'm ready to do the things that I like to do during warmer weather. Hey, Robbie S., thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for jumping in here today. I'm running a test live. This is my first live, I think, from this channel. So I'm kind of seeing like how many people show up and whatnot. Ian says, where I'm at, only garters and rubber boas, if you know exactly where to look. Did see some Puget Sound garters in January before the snow hit. Right on, Ian. And we have phenomena like that here in Oklahoma, where it may be like spring-like warmth for a month, and then you get like a wild early April snow. Generally, after April, you're not going to see much snow, and then it goes right into almost too hot. It goes right into like summer hot. Um, Gary, Gary, I want to say you're Gary, the Gary that I know from my other channels, and I'm wanting to say you're in Illinois or Indiana. 73 there. I want to say right now we've got. I want to say it's like around mid 60s here. I'm not going to try to pull up a weather app right now while I'm running a test live. But either way, hopefully the warm temps kind of stick around. Hopefully we kind of, you know, kind of through with winter at least. Okay, gotcha, Gary. I was thinking you are the one and only Gary. I didn't want to throw out your last name. You haven't included that in this new name, so I don't know what's going on, but know that I'm thinking about you, bud. We were talking about your medical stuff the other night. I'm thinking about you. So, man, just know that you got someone in Oklahoma pulling for you. Yeah, well, Ian, the last couple of days, stuff's been coming out of the dens here. Like, like rattlers, things like that. People have been finding garters and decays, snakes, and water snakes. And once again, a water snake, like any Nerodia species, is a classic example of like, you may see it in the middle of January if it's 60 degrees and sunny. Hognose, the eastern hognose in Oklahoma, another animal I find a lot of when it's sunny and 50s, 60s. You can find those. A lot of people think it's not warm enough for snakes yet. It is if you know how to scour their habitat and look for them. There are things that will be coming to the surface. And especially your Lampropeltis. I almost kind of think your kings and your milk snakes are cold weather animals, because it seems like you find those a lot earlier in the year before you find things like copperheads and rat snakes on the move. So, I don't know, to each their own and to each their own observations. That's one thing that I really kind of like about INAT is if there are a lot of observations out there, you can kind of get a feel, if you know your biology, that you don't have to have the sensitive species listing to know that they could be there. Like, if you find like a population of like really common lizards, and they're very dense in a certain area, well, there's probably the animals that feed on those lizards in that same area. So you don't have to list, this kind of king snake or this kind of milk snake. And so to me, INAT is like I really use it for insects and plants, because a lot of times I come across a funny insect, and 40 years ago I'd have been able to ID it. I did entomology in 4-H when I was younger, and that was some pretty amazing stuff. I never did like freezing the bugs and killing the bugs and putting them in the insect collection. Never did really like that, but at the same time, I also got to know a lot of, taxonomy, a lot of biology, like coleopters, the beetle family, lepidopters, the butterfly family, and stuff. And so, and I also learned how to identify some of the rarer insects that are in our state. But at the same time, I don't carry an insect field guide with me. So if I find something, I'll throw it on INAT and say, need help identifying this species. And once again, most of your bugs, we've got 2 or 3 endangered bugs in the state of Oklahoma. I want to say the most famous is the American burrowing beetle. And they think their population crashed after the passenger pigeon went extinct, because in the early 1900s, because what this animal was they could eat some other things, but I think primarily they scavenged off the bodies of dead passenger pigeons. And passenger pigeons were really, really, they're really heavily populated in the United States at the turn of the last century, the early 1900s, and then just they got hunted to extinction. Definitely over harvested. But okay, I know a spot with loads of lizards. I thought I'd see snakes feeding on them. Not a single snake at that spot so far. I'll tell you what, you reptile. I would hit that area, that same area, like maybe like early in the morning, later in the evening. Maybe put down some AC if you can. If you can't, I understand that too. Because I'll tell you, where you're at in New Mexico, I would think racers and coach whips would be close at hand. Possibly a desert king snake. I know that a lot of species, and even some rattlesnake species, seem to feed on lizards when they're young, and then graduate to rodents when they get older. I definitely wouldn't surprise me to find something like a cottonmouth doing that, because I mean cottonmouths, they eat about anything. Yeah, I saw you guys were getting weather up there in that part of the country, Gary. I saw where there was like a tornado warning in Iowa, and you know, neither here nor there. But anyway, guys, spring's coming up. I'm looking forward to shooting some new video and not releasing old video. I was talking to Squatchy earlier. I'm going to start putting more of a creative spin on what I do. I think some of my people are going to like it, and then some people are. I'm probably going to lose a few people over it. But it's kind of like I just kind of want to take this different direction with how I do things from here on out. And whether people watch it or not, I almost don't care. Because we covered that a lot too. Me and Squatchy discussed having a YouTube video take off, having one YouTube video push you into monetization, making a fair amount of money off that YouTube video, and then like 2 months later, after it's like hit over 1 million views, you get this notice from YouTube that's like, hey, we've decided this video is not appropriate for ads, and and things like that. And so then you go from a few $100s a month to 70 cents a month, $2.10 a month, stuff like that. Those aren't exact numbers. I'm not giving out what I make, I'm not saying it's a lot either. But it went from actually making something to nothing pretty quick. That's from one video getting delisted. May end up actually age restricting that video, because it's not really grown any since it lost its ad capability. I was hoping it was going to hit around 2 million, and it was closing in on it. But man, they pulled the ads, and man, YouTube quit suggesting it, and they come and they go. I don't know if you're talking about the storms or the YouTube videos, but I agree, Gary. Either one, they come and they go. Gang, we are rolling up on 55 minutes. I'm going to try and kill this before an hour is up. I'm seeing like 6 people watching now. We've had like 3 to 6, I think, the majority of the time that I've been on this live on this channel. Keep in mind, first live ever on this channel. Glad you guys were here to be a part of it. And I'm going to see what these lives will do on this channel, because I get a fair amount of traction from my lives on my other channel for the amount of subs I have and for the amount of people that regularly watch over there. Once again, you don't want to do YouTube for money. You really don't. It's nice when it comes. But as I was telling with Squatchy earlier, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into getting monetized, filling out the forms, sending in the forms, checking this, doing this, getting your bank information to them, doing that. Then YouTube screws it up several times. You have to keep fixing it. And mad shout out to Derek's Reptiles, who really helped me a lot with that. Definitely sub to Derek's Reptiles channel. He's good people. He interviews a lot of people and does some captive care videos and stuff. And I know that's not everybody's thing if you're on my channel, but he's good people. If you like that stuff, you want to check out Derek. If not, don't, because I mean, guy doesn't need another sub if you're not going to hit his content. But I would say sub and hit some of his content because some of it's pretty cool. Hey, thank you for that, Robbie S. I'm always glad to see you pop up in chat. Derek is a brother, so are you, and I agree. Derek is a brother. I mean, that guy. I feel bad because I'm running behind on his videos this week. That guy did so much to help me get monetized. I mean, I'm a member of his channel. He's one of the few channels that I've ever joined and done the monthly recurring fee. I did it for him just because he did so much to help me out with getting monetized on this channel that I kind of, you know, I felt like at least if I miss some videos or something, he's getting something from me monthly. Helps him keep doing what he's doing. You know, but I do need to get caught up on Derek's lives. And Derek, you know, I'm kind of like bummed you didn't show up. I kind of hope you do give this a replay, Derek, because I know eventually you will see it. I got to get caught up on your channel. You got to get caught up. I mean, you probably don't know how to get caught up on mine, man. You've already done so much for me, dude. It's amazing. But Squatchy, man, thank you for running the hammer tonight. I'm kind of surprised I didn't see Ariel, but she may be busy, have something going on. But anyway, my main purpose for doing a live from this channel was to see like what the numbers look like and see a lot of my lives get watched after the fact. Now I don't know who's doing that. Exactly, Reptile. That's a constant battle. So I'm kind of like narrowing mine down to where like if you're showing up on my channels, I'll show up on yours. And I don't ask everyone to support all my channels because it's just my snake stuff is all I really focus on, care about, get into. And if you're pretty solid on one, I'm probably going to be solid on yours. I mean, it's just that way. And once again, I encourage people to leave comments on videos when you watch because you do not know if someone's watching your channel. If 6 months go by and you don't see a comment from them. Me and Squatchy were talking earlier about notifications and how we're not getting notifications. When you start subbing a lot of people, you get less and less notifications. Not exactly sure how that works, but I do know that a lot of people, I kind of almost have gotten to where I don't even, like if they got like 2, 3, 4, or 500,000 followers, I figured they don't need another sub, but if I want to go watch their video, I know where to find them. And so when it gets shared or something to Facebook or Instagram or wherever, you know, I'll pick it up then. And I'll see that. And yeah, Gary, I will do that. I'll tell him it's from you. He has no problem waking me up for his like midnight snack if he doesn't get it. Definitely. And I'm enjoying the YouTube channel that I've got going over there. It's just simple videos, simple edits, nothing too crazy, but it's enjoyable, and I'm just building memories with my dogs. So, but anyway, guys, hopefully this next week we'll be herping. Hopefully you guys will be wherever you're at. And then there's Zaddy Reptile. I've unsubbed a lot of channels I didn't watch too. And generally, I just want to be there for the people that are there for me. And you know, I was telling Squatchy earlier, I've been on a lot of people's lives, and I am not seeing them come to my lives. I'm not seeing them leave comments on my videos. If they're watching them, I don't know about it unless they're telling me. And sorry, but some people I'm just gonna, I hate to say I'm gonna drop, but you do need to go through your YouTube channel once in a while and look around and say, do I really need to be subbed to this person? Can I put their videos in a playlist? And I'm not saying, haha, I knew Ariel would show up. Ariel, this is my first live on this channel that I can recall. I normally do them from the Angry Aatrox because this platform's monetized. I'm seeing how they work over here. So I appreciate you jumping into this test. I've got your Friday video lined up that I'm going to stream right after I get off here. Oh, that's fine, Ariel. We're kind of doing a test run. Squatchy said he would jump on and help me with it, or at least work the ban hammer and whatnot. So Ariel, doesn't matter. You're here now. Hopefully, people be sure and support Ariel. If you like cooking videos of any kind or outdoor lives in nature, Ariel has some good stuff from down under. She is an Aussie, and she does some good stuff. And I'm really happy to see that other video yesterday, the one that I commented on for my dog channel. That was pretty beautiful. May go back and watch it again from this channel. But I am going to do the Friday no supers enabled, Todd. Are you asking about super chats? No, I do not have those enabled. Gary, be safe if there's a tornado warning. Get in a closet or get in a basement, literally. I'm from Oklahoma. We get a lot of tornadoes here, and they do kill people. Scary stuff. Yeah, Ariel, let me tell you my theory on super chats and monthly subscriptions and things like that. What I found is the people showing interest in those are people I love, people that are great. But literally, they're like, I had one lady hit me up and it's like, why don't you drop your Cash App, or why don't you do this so I can support you? And I talked to one of her friends, and one, super chat, stickers, all that stuff, YouTube takes so much of it. I'd almost rather just drop my Cash App and say, the heck with the middleman. But people who, I hate to say it, didn't have any money, were the ones that were wanting to do that for my channel. And I'm just like, I don't, if you're having trouble paying your electric bill, or if you're talking about on your video or on your Instagram page about how expensive groceries are getting, I agree. But I don't want you sending me $3.99 or $5.99. Keep that money for yourself. I want the ad money. That's what I'm after. The Google AdSense money. That's kind of my thing. And so, and that's another thing Derek brought up to me. It's like, man, you can have people join. You can get monthly memberships. I get all that. People can give you super chats. I get all that. And Ariel, I have no doubt you would have laid one on me had I had that enabled. I want you saving your funds to get to the U.S. because we got a party. We got a party, Ariel. We got to hang out and do some stuff. Literally. But once again, I've talked to people who, the people that are most interested in that I talked to, were also the people who didn't need to be doing that. Just come here and watch my stuff for free. If you watch my videos beginning to end, maybe share them with a couple of people, that's the kind of support I need from you. That's just my personal philosophy. Yeah, exactly. Google has money. AdSense can afford to pay out the money. Yeah, AdSense can. But like, Squatchy, like, there's people that watch my channel that, man, I wish I could super chat you. And it's just like, I know, but I don't want you to. I want you. You were complaining about barely being able to afford your car repair last week. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I'm just trying to say, save your money for that. Don't spend your money on me. I'm after the ad money, and who knows? Maybe after a couple of lives on this channel, because I don't doubt that we do this again in a few nights from over here at Roundup Rodeo, and see if we get maybe a bigger, better audience. I know that going on earlier would have helped more, but I also know that a lot of people watch my lives after the fact. And I wouldn't doubt that 50 to 60% of the people who view my lives view them after the live itself, which is fine. Mad shout out to my assistant in Broken Arrow, Hissy Fits Snake Rescue. Go check her out on TikTok and on YouTube. She has a Facebook page, Hissy Fits Snake Rescue. She puts some good stuff up. Good people. That's my friend Autumn, and hopefully we're going to be jumping on some herping adventures before long, and I need to get a couple of the ones we did last year. From that, like, we went on some herping trips last year that like haven't even got close to the getting that stuff edited yet, just because like my computer went down, my storage, my backup failed, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had it running to another and I had it running to a cloud, so ultimately nothing major was lost. But yeah, Robbie, I'm sure a lot of the community would help me with schedules and things. And I may do that. I may hit up Iron Dog and Justin and Kurtwood and say, guys, like, help me nail down a live over here. Help me get 15 to 20 people and then see what the numbers look like. You know, so anyway, but I'm going to be doing that soon. And hopefully we get some people, going to the lives over here that normally would hit the lives over there. Actually, I think this is pretty good numbers for being late Saturday, early Sunday morning. It's 2 a.m. here, and gang, I gotta go. Yeah, exactly, Robbie. Like Iron Dog and Justin, my Animal House, those guys are pretty amazing. Derek later kind of told me that like Iron Dog and Justin were the ones that showed him a lot of the things that he passed on to me. And Iron Dog actually lives like 2 blocks away from me. He's just like a little ways that way. So we bump into each other once in a while, and that's good. He's good people. I'm not so much into like the pythons and ball pythons and stuff like that and stuff he gets into. But he's been to my house. I've been to his. We've seen some setups. But yeah, definitely, Robbie. And once again, we're going to see how many people watch this live after this live. I am going to try and make sure comments are enabled, so people can comment on stuff after the fact. And let's see. I'll have to start a playlist for this one. I want to make sure my comments are on. So, yes, allow all comments. So, hopefully, if someone watches this afterwards, wants to leave me a comment, they can. Definitely Want to see if I can get some people coming to lives over here. May not work. Maybe just people are too used to it, my lives over there. But if it kind of is more of a success over here, I'll probably just keep doing it over here. Ariel, thank you. Shared live on your community tab. Thank you so much. Stuff like that, Ariel, means the world to me because people just, people like literally, they don't. I'm not saying everybody doesn't share everybody else's stuff up enough, but like you're a prime example, Ariel. And if we weren't tight, I would have a little problem saying this publicly. But you share a lot of people's stuff, and not a lot of people share yours, or at least I don't see it. So maybe it's like on the homestead channels that I follow, maybe they're doing it and I'm not seeing it, but I'm not noticing you popping up in community tabs, and I follow your tags, so. And once again, I'm kind of going to try and be a little more committed to sharing your stuff. I share quite a bit of Sean's The Game Lady, because once again, it's kind of one of those cross-platform deals, as are you. Like, you're a cooking channel, and then you're sharing a snake channel. So, anyway, right, exactly. But anyway, we're just going to see how this works. I'm at 71 minutes, gang. I'm going to get out of here and go to bed. I'm tired. I appreciate all of you who showed up tonight for this test live. Thank you, Squatchy and Ariel, for jumping in here and running the hammers. Didn't have any bots tonight. That's really great. Hey, eReptile, thank you for being a strong and steady. Same with Robbie S, Gary, Technoendo. Technoendo has a great field herping channel. If you haven't seen it, you at least need to give it a chance. I'll tell you that much. Blaker's Pythons, thank you for stopping by. eReptile, get to those sites a little more often. Earlier in the morning and later in the evening. Hey, see you, Ian. I'm about to dream about burgers and food. I'm with you there, Squatchy. But eReptile, one thing I want you to think about is this time of year, the lizards are coming out. Squatchy's seeing them. People in my neighborhood are seeing them. But they have these hours in the morning where they get cold and inactive. And they don't have a lot of sunlight. They're easy to catch. That's when a lot of snakes prey on them. And once again, the snakes are cold too, but they get up and they get out. And I've caught some snakes on the prowl when it's, going on like 40, 50 degrees. I've flipped snakes under 10. Like, it can be a high of 50 and sunny, but that 10 is going to get to 75 or 80 degrees, and snakes are going to go up under it to heat up, just like they do with rocks and things. And remember, if you've got the sun, think about ground temps, because it can be sunny and a high of 55, but there may be a little rock alcove on a hill where the rocks are sheltering like a pocket of ground from the wind, and that is taking direct sunlight and getting no wind pressure. And like, I've temp gunned some of those spots, and like, it can be 56 degrees, but down in those rocks it might be 82, 77. And that's what I'm saying. Think a little outside the box on some of these things. Up your herping game. The bots knew old Squatch was around, and they didn't want to mess with Squatch. I'm in agreement with that. And Squatch will have to come up with some kind of contest, Central Arkansas herping or something, and the loser shaves the beard. Guys, thank you for stopping in. Leave me a comment below. Leave me thoughts, concerns, whatever. Leave it below. And I'm going to kill this, and then I'm going to get on streaming Ariel's Friday video. It's 2 hours. I'm sure it's going to be worth it. So let's rock it and roll it. See you guys tomorrow.